KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Workers Beat. Thank you for listening in. 972-647-1893. Get out your checkbook and call us because it is Pledge Drive.
Yes.
Couple of things coming up. Introducing Bonnie Mathias is right here beside me. And tomorrow morning, Sunday at 10 o'clock at the Old Reds Courthouse, they're going to do Restore the Fourth again. Restore the Fourth means restoring the Fourth Amendment. In other words, the government spying is way out of line, so this is a protest against government spying. 10 o'clock tomorrow, Sunday, at the Old Red Courthouse in downtown Dallas. There will be an informational meeting on affordable health care today at 11 o'clock at the Greater Providence Baptist Church, 5300 Marvin D. Love Freeway, Dallas, Texas, 75232. That's 11 o'clock today, Greater Providence Baptist Church, 5300 Marvin D. Love Freeway. At 10:30 on Monday, Stand Up for Immigration Reform at the Pete Sessions office. Congressman Pete Sessions is at 12750. That's 12750 Merritt Drive in Dallas, Texas, 75251. Among the many people that were arrested last week for standing up for immigration reform were the AFL-CIO Executive Vice President
Arlene
Holt Baker.
That's
Arlene
right.
Holt Baker, and CWA President. This is Bonnie's president, International President of the Communication Workers, Cohen. They were all arrested on the Hill on the 1st of August. On Tuesday, August the 6th at 11 o'clock. Rally for Fairness at AT&T Internet Services, the Bell Plaza downtown. Parking downtown can be bad, so the CWA, Communication Workers, 6215, will have vans running from the Union Hall to downtown starting at 10:15 or so. So go down to the Union Hall at 1408 North Washington, catch the van, and go to Bell Plaza downtown for the protest in favor of the workers at AT&T Internet Services.
That's right.
Their agreement expired on July 13th, and the employees are now working without a contract. Looking further down the road, on August the 31st, and I want you to circle this on your calendar and be prepared to do this. So we're going to restore the idea of a Labor Day march in Dallas. There hasn't been one, as far as I know, since the late 40s.
Wow.
And I think that was really a car caravan. I had a picture of it, but it was really cars. I don't think we had people walking. On Saturday, August the 31st at 12 o'clock, we're going to march, but people will gather at the Texas Theater at 10 o'clock for a forum with Congressman Mark Vesey. Will they be talking about low-wage workers? As you know, low-wage workers are up in arms all over the country today, trying to get changes in the law for food service and places where you buy groceries.
Yeah,
grocery stores. And then there's a move on to improve the minimum wage. And this all has to do with immigration, too, because
Absolutely.
if we could get the immigrants somehow legalized, we get them somehow in the system, they wouldn't have to work for such low wages, and they wouldn't have to bring everybody down so far. So it'll be a march, starts at 12 at the Texas Theater, and that's at 231 West Jefferson Boulevard in Oak Cliff. Now, on September the 2nd, which is a Monday, the official of AFL-CIO Labor Day breakfast is at 9:30 a.m. at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Mesquite, Texas.
Right next to the rodeo grounds.
Yeah, you have to get tickets for that. It's 214-826-4808 if you want to get tickets for the Labor Day breakfast. 214-826-4808. Call us and make a pledge. 972-647-1893. And why should they make a pledge, Bunny?
Well, they need to make a pledge to keep us on the air. You know, it costs a lot of money to run a radio station, and we are a nonprofit. We are a community radio station, so we stay on the air with your pledges. And I think we lost 12 shows last year. So we don't want to be one of the shows that are no longer on the air. You know, this is to keep folks informed. You have to help us by giving us a pledge.
Losing 12 shows is kind of unusual. Usually it's just 2 or 3, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, but it's
got to be the economy.
Well, I'm sure the economy has something to do with it, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it doesn't matter how much you pledge, and we give you 3 months to pay it. So let's say you pledge $60. You could pay $20 a month for the next 3 months, and you'd have your pledge paid. Mm-hmm. And you get a gift. That's the other thing.
Yeah, you can get one of these great T-shirts.
You can get one of these great T-shirts. And he has on last year's T-shirt, which is the Blue Bonnets, and I am so bummed out I didn't get one.
And they don't have them this year?
No. Is that a bowling shirt?
So now we have a bowling shirt?
All righty then. We have
nearly everything is black.
Black. That's right.
Knon really goes for black.
We do have a purple one. We have a purple, a light lavender.
I think that's is that a women's style
child
T-shirt?
Or a woman? Or
that is a lady's shirt.
Okay.
It's in the ladies' style.
We also have that handy dandy little iPad holder there in the window. See that thing?
Look at that. Well, that's nice.
To hold your iPad.
To hold your iPad or your e-reader
Nook or your Kindle or whatever you could. Yeah, because they're all about the same size.
Right.
Okay. How much do they have to donate to get the little iPad holder?
That would be a $50 pledge.
So make a $50 pledge.
And you get that, and it's awesome. And if you make a $90 pledge, you get 2 of them. Uh-huh. So that's pretty cool.
One for your significant other.
Yes, or you could get it as a gift.
Yeah. Well, the main reason, though, for donating to try to keep the workers' beat on the air is because we won't be on the air if we don't get a certain amount of support. The thing is, KNON is not owned by a big bank. It's not owned by a big newspaper chain. It stands by itself and tries to continue putting out community radio, eclectic music during the week, and 5 of us talk shows on Saturdays. And really, just as far as what we do here on the Workers Beat, try to find another station or another even one program anywhere that favors working people.
There isn't one.
We will state categorically right now that we are in favor of increasing wages.
Absolutely.
Try to find somebody else that's in favor of creating wages, because they're all owned by big corporations who are opposed to increasing wages.
Because then the economy might get better. Did I say that? It's kind of backwards, right? 972-647-1893. Oh, the other really great thing about calling today to pledge, you get to talk to Annie.
Annie's online.
That's right. Sexy voice.
Taking off from her usual job to come and help us with the fund drive.
And we appreciate that so much. So keep her busy, guys. 972-647-1893.
I don't know if you noticed today, there was a big write-up in the paper about the low-paid workers in certain cities, and I can tell you that it's coming to Dallas. But in 5 of the other major cities in the country, the low-paid workers have been striking during lunch and that sort of thing.
That's right. And McDonald's and Wendy's and some of the big chains.
And demanding an increase in wages.
Right. And in convenience stores. That's the other folks that seem to be falling in line with the fast food workers. Yeah. We cannot expect anyone to be able to live on $7.25 an hour when you don't even get 40 hours of work. So don't don't give them that extra 8 to 10 hours because they're only working 30, 32 hours if they're lucky.
Well, the article starts off with a picture and it says that this activity is going on. And then the rest of the article is about why we should not give them an increase in wages.
And what do you know?
Such an economist over here says that it's going to raise prices. And, they interview somebody that says, well, yeah, I'm for they're getting another raise as long as I don't have to pay more for my Big Macs. And the whole article is like that. And you're going to find that throughout the corporate world. Because the corporations own almost everything you see and almost everything you read.
That's right.
Almost everything you hear. Even the movies, even the textbooks, even the fiction books. They're all either written by directly under corporate rule or they're approved by corporate rule. As far as I know, this is the only program, certainly the only program in North Texas, and one of, I think, 3 in the South. There's one on Friday nights in Houston, and then there's one in Atlanta where they talk about things from the workers' point of view, but nowhere else. So please get out your checkbook, 972-647-1893.
And remember, we got a pledge last week from Michael.
Yeah.
So he started us off before we even started Pledge Drive.
Way to go, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
So we had a jump this
That's
time
right.
because
That's
we already
right.
had a pledge from last week.
And Gene and I pledged to this station as well.
Yes, it's true.
I've pledged to this station on a bank draft for, oh my God, probably 25 years.
Mm-hmm. And I got to ask yesterday if the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans could donate on our behalf.
Why, yes, they may.
Because I'm the president of the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans. But I don't want it to look like, I'm shifting money around from one organization to another or something like that. So I replied that we're going to have to go to the board with it. But the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans and many other progressive organizations in North Texas benefit from the workers' beat. Unions, for example.
Yay!
We just mentioned that Bonnie's Union, CWA 6215, will have an important rally.
Informational picket and rally.
Mm-hmm. You want to give the time and place again on that?
Yes. It will be at Whitaker Tower, which is 1 ATT. It's on Commerce. Jackson is the street behind it. 11 o'clock. On Tuesday, the informational picket and rally will start. Mm-hmm. You can park at the Union Hall, which is at 1408 North Washington. Park at the Union Hall. We will have shuttles running back and forth, starting about 10:15 or so. People can get down there. I would love to have a minimum of 100 people.
Yeah, and you usually do.
Yes.
When these things come up, we nearly always fill that plaza. Yes, but try to find another station. Try to find another program advocating this.
Talking about it
before it happens.
That's right.
Now, a few stations will report on it afterwards. Mm-hmm. But even they'll come out and they'll say, "Okay, there's a big demonstration out in front of the building," and then they'll go into the building and talk to management and get management's point of view.
We already got management's point of view.
Management's point of view is all around us. It's soaking into your skin.
We got that
right now. It's in the roots of your hair.
And AT&T just spent a bunch of money.
Yeah,
a bunch of money.
On naming rights.
Named the Cowboy Stadium. Now, word is there's a couple of different stories. One story says it's between 16 and 19 million a year. Mm-hmm. Another story says they spent 600 million for 6 years.
Uh-huh.
So
that's the one I read.
I don't know which one is true. I know it's a lot of money.
Sure.
So,
but they don't want to pay their employees.
They don't want to. They don't want to. They don't want to invest in their employees. They invest in stadiums all over the country, but they don't want to invest in their employees. And we want to know, where's the fairness?
Well, everybody says that if workers get more money, then it would be bad for the economy. Well,
how would it be bad for the economy? That's my question.
What's the economy for? Why do we have an economy?
I thought
if it's not to benefit the people that participate in it.
Yeah.
If the people that are doing all the work aren't benefiting from the economy, then what's the point of having it? What are we holding it together for?
Oh, we're holding it together for the rich people to get richer.
Well, that's what's been happening.
Yeah.
And we've gone from a period back in the mid-50s or mid-60s when a CEO was making maybe 50 times as much as a regular worker. And that's gone up to around 270 something times as much.
Yep.
So in other words, while they have quadrupled their income, the workers have not. And working people are the ones that hold the economy together. We're
also the ones that really run the corporation, if you know what I mean.
We do all the work.
I mean, we do all the work. You don't see any CEOs or presidents of companies going out and doing the labor that actually it takes to keep that company up and running.
Feel of their hands. It's like shaking. It's like shaking hands with a bowl of noodles,
Jello,
a bowl of Jello that you just are preparing. So they're not doing the work; they're just raking in all the money.
That's it.
So if we have an economy, it should be
for everybody,
for the benefit. I like to think about bees and ants. You know, they work their little tails off, but they're all in it together.
Right, everybody's working for the same. Yeah,
you know, and people work like that. We work until we can't see, and then somebody else is raking it all off. So somebody else say, well, they're the bees, but I'm the beekeeper.
Yeah, well,
I guess. 972-647-1893 if you'd like to make a difference. Concerned Citizen is online.
Concerned
Citizen. Did they make a pledge? They made a pledge? Oh, good. Let's have them on then. This is KNON. Thanks for calling.
How y'all doing this morning? I'm going to try to change the subject just a few minutes. I heard you talk about the situation with the American government. You mentioned the IRS and all these problems that Obama is going through. And I think if he stopped for a minute, he can solve some of these problems instead of doing the Bush policies, which he's doing most of the Bush policies. He's not here to change nothing. So he needs to stop and turn around and say to them, I want to be a man today. I don't want no punks in my army, and I don't want no woman that had consensual sex to have an abortion, killing a baby. All women that had an abortion and kill a baby need to go to jail.
So that's it, huh? Well, appreciate your making a pledge, and we appreciate your comments on KNON. Everybody else, 972-647-1893.
Or if you're shy and you don't want to talk to Annie, which I can't imagine why you would not want to talk to Annie. Annie is awesome. You can go to knon.org and make a pledge online, and it's very easy. It's secure. It's super simple.
They don't give away your information.
No.
And they don't sell it either.
No.
KNON takes your information over the phone, but they don't give it to anybody. They don't sell it. So, and that's about the only place like that too, because you give somebody else your information, they compile it and sell it or turn it over to the government.
We got a baseball jersey.
Okay.
Yeah,
what do you have to pledge?
$125 gets you a baseball jersey, a KNON custom Texas Ranger style baseball jersey. That's pretty cool.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
The unemployment rate dropped a little bit yesterday.
I saw that.
7.4, but they revised the numbers from the previous month and said that they didn't get quite as many jobs as they had said. There's a whole bunch of other numbers associated with the unemployment rate that
aren't reported.
Are great. Well, they are reported. But they're of great concern. And the main one, the one that worries me the most, is the long-term growth in people that are working part-time and don't want to work part-time.
Right.
Forced to work part-time. It's just one step above slavery.
Yeah.
If you're on part-time, you have virtually no rights, and the boss can always cut your hours.
Yep.
So it's just a notch above slavery is to be working part-time. And more people are working part-time. It's just something like 8 million.
Wow.
People that are working part-time who say that that's not what they want, that they want to get a full-time job.
Sure. And
that number just keeps growing. It's been growing ever since the crisis hit in 2007, and it is still growing, and it grew again yesterday. There are 6 trends in the labor market that are a direct results of this sluggish hiring. One is unemployment is elevated across the board, including all categories of education, age, gender, race, ethnicity, and occupation. So it's not just some people, it's everybody that where unemployment is hitting. One, labor force participation itself is depressed, which means people are not looking for jobs. They've already given up. Or turned to crime.
Yeah.
But they've, in other words, or living with their parents.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just plain giving up. So the number of people eligible to go to work compared to the number of people actually looking for a job, that is falling down. So that's another great concern of what's happening in the labor market today. Underemployment is elevated. That means underemployed are people working part-time that don't want to be working part-time. Right. And I think there's some other categories for that too. But this underemployment number is the one that worries me the most.
Yeah,
because they're pushing us down towards slavery.
That's what, and folks, you really need to wake up and listen to what Gene is saying. This is so important. All the hype that we hear on the mainstream media is just that, it's hype. If you want the true, real story of what's going on, you should be listening to KNON.
And you should be making a pledge to make
and you should absolutely be making a pledge, because otherwise we won't be here.
We still want to be here.
That's right. 972, sorry, Gene, 972-647-1893. Get your pencil.
Another point of concern is long-term unemployment. Ooh. In other words, the people that get jobs are the ones that don't need them as bad as the ones that are staying unemployed. So people have now gone way past getting unemployment. They've been unemployed more than 26 weeks. They've been employed more than 6 months. They've been employed more than a year, more than 2 years. And those categories are growing of people in long-term unemployment. What else can they do but eventually turn toward crime? Because that's what is going to happen. Wage growth is depressed. Of course, unemployment causes low wages.
Right.
And low wages and unemployment go together because the bosses will lower wages every time they get a chance. And when there's two people applying for your job, they're going to cut your wages.
Yep.
If the two people, can do your job.
That's right.
And finally, there is a disproportionate job growth in low-wage industries. In other words, the jobs that we are getting
are service industry jobs.
They're low-paying jobs. And like Governor Perry is forever bragging that he gets more jobs here in Texas, But Texas is the second worst in the country for people working for minimum wage.
Isn't that nice?
Well, I think it used to be the worst.
Oh, well, we've come up, I think.
So they've made some improvement.
Wonder who number one is.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Can we thank these people?
Yes, we need to thank these people for sure.
Okay, we have a pledge from Kenneth, and we are so very, very grateful, Kenneth. Thank you so much for calling KNON and making a pledge.
Thank you.
972-64. Oh, Kenneth's on?
Hello?
Yes, good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Kenneth.
James.
How are you? Good morning.
Great. Well, look here, I hear you discussing the job situation, but here's the deal. Used to be in the old days, they used the stock market as an indicator of how well everybody's doing.
Yeah,
But now it's how well the rich is doing, because they're the only ones that can invest in it.
That's right. In fact, it's kind of the opposite, because as wages keep going down, the stock market keeps going up.
Well, things have changed, since Reagan got in there. But here's what I look at the economic situation, and they talk about the jobs we produced yesterday. But the deal is, companies sitting trillions of dollars, but they don't want to hire nobody because the only two things they're interested. They're interested in the top line, which is revenue, and a bottom line, which is profits, and then they're stockholders.
Right.
Now, for instance, you can take a major company, which I'm going to name. Some guys came through here the other day, and they did some work on the internet, and they were talking about they're covered up. They got so much work. But the problem is, every time a company hires an incremental worker, it's an incremental cost. In other words, they got to pay the 401k, they got to pay salary, they got to pay the medical, they got to pay the vacation, everything. So what they do is they will hire somebody, but they have all the work, but they're not going to hire enough because they're interested in making a profit.
That's right.
The stock market's 1,700 now, 1710.
Mm-hmm.
So even if Mr. Obama tries to start projects, shovel ready, say, well, let's build up the infrastructure, let's do this, let's do that. They're not interested in it because the money's stopping in one place. That's the way I see it, and I think he means well. I mean, I heard last Friday that Governor Perry, he was, penny pinching. Said, well, Obama made a promise, and he's not giving the people in the West nothing. He went back on his word. But he signed an executive order. It wasn't about 24 something like $1 million, and gave him the money. But how come Texas didn't step up and give it? How come Perry didn't give him the money?
Because Perry, you know why he didn't give it to anybody?
Well, because he's got his own syndicate he takes care of.
He's greedy.
And nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
We had a scandal in Dallas about sole source contract was sent out for some kind of medical firm, and the guy contributed a few $100,000 to $2,000 to Perry, and $15 million come up missing.
Yeah.
And
then the next thing you know, Perry defunded the investigators to make sure they couldn't investigate.
My God, that's one way to get rid of them, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got a lot of problems, but like I said, I still think that people need to talk. They need to get an education and just look at what's going on.
That's right.
And don't get caught up in all the small talk.
You're absolutely right,
You're
Kenneth,
exactly
and we
right,
appreciate
Kenneth.
you putting your money where your mouth is, too.
Yes, sir. Thank
you're
you.
helping KNON stay
y'all
on
take
the
care.
air.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
972-647-1893. Call and make a pledge. And Ed is on the line. Can we get Ed on? Good morning, Ed. Thanks for helping KNON.
Yeah, good morning, Gene and Bonnie. It's good to talk with you.
Thank you.
I've been listening to the conversation, and I've listened to conversations and always enjoy what you do on Saturday mornings. It's really hard to get people into those conversations because invariably they are caught up in feeling invested in the stock market, and somehow by taking a stand for workers, even if it's for their own best interest, they're just fearful. And so we never can seem to have a real conversation about the place of government, the need for people to be organized so that they have some leverage. Mm-hmm. People of faith are always kind of in the background thinking that, we're only worried about people's souls rather than the realities of how they live day to day. And so it is so complicated, which is not to say that people ought not to back away. It just says that it's a never-ending work. Mm-hmm. And I remember a book, one of my favorite books by Barbara Tuchman, The March of Folly, who, takes different parts of history and talks about how nations will choose a course of action that's against their best interest, their self-interest. And Americans seem to be determined to stay in that pattern that we, our folly is that we continue to believe what we're told, that just stay with it because you're going to be better off, the free market, globalization, so forth.
But they hear that so many times, over and over again every day.
And the Koch brothers, of course, helped make sure of that, along with Rupert Murdoch. So, we know that the forces are formidable, but somehow we've got to have that conversation at a national level. And I think somewhere within most Americans, they get that this doesn't work. But it's hard for them to think of some more radical possibilities in terms of how we participate in an economy and how we govern in such a way so that government actually has a role for the good of the citizens.
So you think people are aware of the problem, they just don't know what to do about it?
I think that they're aware of the diagnosis to the point that it's not working. Mm-hmm. Most of them are fearful to go beyond that in terms of admitting, well, maybe it's our basic economic assumptions that's the real problem. Maybe global capitalism isn't the panacea that, post Ronnie Reagan people began to believe. And even Bill Clinton, God help us, Bill Clinton didn't do he did a great disservice by pushing the globalization button and saying, this is for the greater good. So both parties share some culpability in this.
Sure.
Certainly.
And,
so you think we ought to examine the whole thing?
Well, I think we sooner or later are going to have to.
Yep. I think you're right, Ed.
And,
we appreciate it so much, Ed, and we appreciate your supporting KNON, helping us stay on the air and keeping people like you talking.
That's right.
Well, and again, good luck with fundraising.
Have you very much. Have a great weekend, Ed.
So that was Ed made a nice pledge.
Yes, he did.
I forgot to ask him which one of the premiums he picked.
Oh, he's going to get a T-shirt.
He's getting a T-shirt?
Yeah, he's getting a white T-shirt.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yes.
I got a request that I repeat an announcement of all the stuff that's happening. And normally I wouldn't do that, but Marjorie asked.
Oh, yeah, Marjorie's
and Marjorie
sweetheart.
Goes to everything.
She does.
She
She's
shows
a
up
pie.
at everything, and she has to take the bus, too.
That's right. Well, you come to the Union Hall on Tuesday. We'll take care of you, Marjorie.
Okay. I think she lives over toward East Dallas.
I think she does, too.
Okay. Here's the announcements that I made at the beginning of the program. There will be an informational meeting today at 11 o'clock at the Greater Providence Baptist Church, 5300 Marvin D. Love Freeway. And that's on the Affordable Health Care Act. In other words, people need to find out what's really going on and not listen to Senator Ted Cruz.
Oh, heavens no.
Tomorrow on Sunday at 10 o'clock at the Old Red Courthouse downtown, there'll be a protest against government spying, and they call that Restore the Fourth because they want to restore the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution. On Monday at 10:30, there's one every day.
I know.
Monday at 10:30, stand up for immigration reform at Congressman Pete Sessions' office. That's 12750 Merritt Drive in Dallas, Texas. 12750 Merritt Drive, Dallas, Texas. On Tuesday, this every day, August the 6th at 11 o'clock, Rally for Fairness at AT&T Internet Services, Bell Plaza, downtown. Now, you can tell people, Bonnie, a little bit better about where Bell Plaza is, because I know Marjorie will be taking the bus. She may not want to come to the Union Hall.
Oh, she may not. That's true.
You can catch a bus downtown easier than you can somewhere else.
That's right. And Whitaker Tower is the old One Bell.
Used to be called the Bell.
Yeah, it was the Bell Tower, and now it's actually called Whitaker Tower.
Yeah.
It is 208 South Akard is actually the address.
Yeah, but Akard just dead ends right there.
Dead ends into
like
that plaza. That's right.
Akard can't cross.
That's right. It's
so
AT&T
if you're on Commerce
Plaza
or Jackson, and you got to where Akard was supposed to be, that's where
we
Bell
are.
Plaza is.
And we'll be, I'm sure we'll be on the sidewalk, because we don't want to get in the plaza. But we'll be on the sidewalk. You can't miss us. You'll see lots of red shirts, lots of top shirts, lots of picket signs. It should be very exciting. And that's going to be at 11 o'clock on Tuesday morning. You can meet at the Union Hall and take a shuttle, or you can meet us downtown either way.
972-647-1893. Please call and make a pledge. We'll be right back.
The Dallas Summer Food Program is returning this summer. The DISD Food and Child Nutrition Services, the Texas Department of Agriculture, and other sponsors are working together to offer the Summer Food Service Program from June 17th to August 2nd for Dallas children. Meals and snacks will be provided to children ages 1 through 18 at specific sites throughout Dallas. To find out more info, the phone number is 211, or their website is squaremeals.org. Or their text keyword is FoodTX at 877-877.
When they're gone for good. This is Scott from KNON's Texas Blues Radio telling you don't miss out on some great blues. KNON's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 Blues CD. It's a CD put together by real blues fans for real blues fans like you. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 features great local blues from Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, JJ and the Detonators, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone with Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ass Kicking Machine, Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, and Johnny Red and the Roosters. Get a copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Record Town in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records. This is a Dallas Blues collector's item. A very limited amount of vinyl copies can be found at Forever Young Records, the sponsor of this great blues project. CD downloads are available at cdbaby.com. Whether you get it as a download, on vinyl, or on CD, all the proceeds will benefit KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit knon.org.
My pappy said, son, you're going to drive me to drinking if you won't quit driving that old hot rod liquor.
The KNON 30th Anniversary Concert Series is kicking off on Friday, August 9th, with a CD release party for the Titan of the Telecaster, Bill Kirchen. Bill Kirchen's latest CD is entitled Seeds and Stems, and his Dallas CD release party is Friday, August 9th at Poor David's Pub. You've heard Hot Rod Lincoln, Down to Seeds and Stems Again, Too Much Fun, Rockabilly Funeral, I Don't Work That Cheap on KNON. Now come out and see the former singer and guitarist for Commander Cody and the Lost Planet Airmen live in concert. Charlie Don't Park from KNON's Rockabilly Review will be spinning tunes between bands. Joining Bill Kirchen will be the legendary Cartwrights, featuring Donnie Ray Ford, Barry Cuda, Alan Woolley, and Ron Gully. Opening the show will be Dallas's newest star, Kristen Harris. Get your tickets now at knon.org, Bill's Records, or Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie. Doors will open at 7 p.m. and a free barbecue dinner will be provided by Two Guys in a Pit Barbecue. Free barbecue while it lasts. That's Friday, August 9th. Poor David's Pub, 1313 South Lamar in Dallas. Bill Kirchen, the Cartwrights, Kristen Harris, and free barbecue. We'll see you there.
Blue Monday. I hate Blue Monday. But we like Saturday.
Yes, we love Saturday.
And we're working to try to stay on the air.
That's
Call
right.
us at 972-647-1893. Make a pledge.
Thanks to Ed. Thanks to Kenneth.
Yeah, and thanks to Marjorie.
Marjorie, thank you, Marjorie.
Marjorie dipped into her very fragile financial situation to help KNON and help us stay on the air, and we appreciate that greatly. Thanks to Deborah. I talked with Deborah the other day, if this is the same Deborah. She said that we really got to start working on voter registration.
Yes.
And we will be. KNON, or the Workers Beat program and everything, we believe in all forms of struggle. We believe you have to do what you have to do.
That's
and
right.
you can't turn up, just because you go on a picket line doesn't mean you can turn up your nose at something else.
Right.
So we're with Deborah on this idea that we have to get people registered and have to get ready for the next round of elections, because elections matter.
I think Battleground Texas has got something going on today for voter registration.
Didn't they have a meeting at your union?
They did last Sunday. And I got to tell you, it was extremely well attended. There was about 130 people there.
Mm-hmm. But
and they all stayed.
Not very many of them were unionists.
No,
I understand.
No, they were.
Union people tend to turn out for their own events only, and not everybody else's.
I would have loved to have stayed, but last weekend was my mother-in-law weekend, so I didn't get to stay. But man, it was supposed to be a small gathering of, really? 25, 30 people. And Teresa Daniels confirmed that she would be there and sent it out. And
that's our county commissioner.
Yeah, our county commissioner. And so a lot of other people got on board, and they just blew it out. They said it was great.
I think that people right now are ready to do something.
Yep.
They're ready for change. And if all that can just be channeled possibly toward positive activities, we're going to see some real fireworks in the elections in 2014.
I can't wait.
And we're starting to see some real fireworks today. I mean, we just announced a bunch of protests, and there's one every day.
Every single day.
972-647-1893 if you want to keep the Workers Beat on the air and keep us talking about what really matters to ordinary working people. We already talked to Concerned Citizen a while ago, didn't want to give his name.
But we thank you.
Made a very nice pledge, and we're very, very grateful.
Yes, we are.
So call and make your pledge, 972-647-1893. And there's two other ways you can donate if you don't really want to call. I mean, we'd rather you call. We'd like to hear what you say. Mm-hmm. But there's two other ways. One is to get online. Go to knon.org, press the button for donation.
Safe and secure.
It's safe and secure, and there's one little catch to it. there's a place in there where they say, what's your favorite program? Now, at that point, we would like you to tell a little fib and say it was Workers Beat, because otherwise we won't get credit for it. I mean, the money will still go to the station, and that's just fine. But we're kind of greedy, and we want Workers Beat to get credit for it, because that's the way we stay on the air.
And we kind of like doing this,
Now, really, really shy people can just write a check and mail it.
That's right.
And that's a perfectly good idea. You send the check. You don't have to send it to the post office box anymore.
That's right.
You can send it right here to the studio. I don't know. Do we want people to know where the studio is? Because people might come down here and lynch us.
Nah. I think they'd probably be standing out front to shake our hand.
You think they will?
Yeah.
Or maybe defend us from the rest of them.
Well, there you go. There is that.
972-647-1893. Please come down and defend us from the rest of them.
That's right.
Anyway, here's the address for the studio, and this is where you can send your check. Mark it for Workers Beat, though, where it says info. You down on the lower left-hand side of your check, on your blank check, you put Workers Beat on there. 5353 Maple Avenue. 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200, or just number sign 200.
Yep.
5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200, Dallas, Texas, 75235. 75235. Remember the guy that used to be on Del Rio? A long time ago, people used to listen to Del Rio, Texas all night, and the guy would say, Del Rio, Texas. Well, this is Dallas, Texas. 75235. 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200. I love radio.
Me too.
I wish there were some more decent stuff to listen to on the radio. 972-647-1893 is a good thing, and we would love it if you would.
And man, the phones are busy this morning. We love y'all. We love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's because of Annie, I think.
I know. Everybody says, "Oh, I gotta talk to Annie."
972-647-1893. Now, how does it work if they want to make a bank draft? How do they do that?
Well, it's really easy. We can do it if you call. Yeah, call 972-647-1893, and we will get you set up on a bank draft.
If you want.
If you want to. And it's so easy. It's amazing. It's very easy. Very, very easy. And we can do it. Annie can do it for you.
Got to take a break.
Got it. Back. Sorry. Bye.
Tell you all a story that's close to me. A worker who's leaning on a bended knee.
Recycle Revolution is a local recycling collection service and community drop-off center. They collect and accept all traditional recyclables, including paper, plastic, aluminum, cardboard, and glass, as well as TVs, computers, lamps, light bulbs, batteries, ballasts, and styrofoam. They offer collection services to apartments, condos, and businesses. They also offer a community drop-off located at 1703 Chestnut Street in Dallas. For more information, 214-566-3025 or recyclerevolutiondallas.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, as part of the Knon 30th Anniversary Concert Series, Knon presents the live recording of Western Swing Masters, the Light Crust Doughboys. Come be a part of the historic live recording to be submitted for Grammy consideration on Sunday, August 25th at Sons of Herman Hall. Also on the show are Western Swing innovators Shoot Low Sheriff. Free barbecue while it lasts. Doors open at 5 p.m. and the music starts at 6. Dust off your dancing boots and join us for a Sunday evening of the finest Western swing on the planet. Tickets are now available at knon.org, Bill's Records, and Forever Young Records. That's the live recording of the Light Crust Doughboys with guests Shoot Low Sheriff and free barbecue Sunday, August 25th at the Sons of Herman Hall, located at 3414 Elm Street in Deep Elm. This is a KNON benefit event.
This is William, your videographer for the KNON talk shows. You can watch Workers Beat by going to knon.org website. Click on Schedules to the left side of your screen. Choose Workers Beats page. Scroll to the bottom of the page, then choose your favorite show to watch or download. This show will be ready for viewing by lunchtime Tuesday. Have a great day.
I wake up in the morning at 4:45.
You remember those 4:45 mornings when we used to come on at 7 o'clock? Woo, Bubba.
Bring on our next pleasure.
Phyllis, good morning.
Morning. I want to draw your attention and that of listeners to a letter that I'm reading online. It's from today's, online Dallas Morning News.
Okay.
And it talks about, there are two consecutive letters talking about labor and immigration issues. And part of the headline is, immigrants in the past were harder working. And the second letter says, immigrants were different then, blah, 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 before they all went on the welfare state and they get free medical care and everything like that. That is the big difference, says Mr. Bell of Northwest Dallas, and that is the reason to control immigration today. I am so furious at that sentiment, the notion that I doubt that Mr. Bell is out cutting his grass and trimming his trees and slashing off the branches and climbing the poles and picking the fruit and vegetables that the immigrants do for very low wages. I think this is just awful.
It is awful.
And they don't get free medical care.
No, they do not get free anything.
Well, and I know the Dallas Morning News does a very good job of printing, opposing views.
Yes.
Their editorial board is certainly to the right of me, but they've got great reporters, and they do a very good balanced job in the letter opinion.
Yes.
But this kind of thing, I just don't even want it out in public. It is so defamatory of hardworking immigrants.
Yep. Hardworking people, period.
That's right.
Because we have so many people that live here in Texas as a whole that are of Latino heritage.
Oh, yeah.
They're not necessarily immigrants, people. That's, I just, it amazes me. The little boy that sang the Star Spangled Banner prior to a game. He's a little Hispanic boy from San Antonio, and there was a big uproar talking about he needs to go back to Mexico. Well, the kid is a third generation American, for God's sake.
God, I didn't even remember that.
He didn't. The child's never even been to Mexico. And it's like everybody thinks if you're not white, then you must be an immigrant. Is that right?
Well,
if you are white, you're still an immigrant.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and all the people, and you do come across these letters also, anti-immigrant letters saying in effect, well, my family came from Ireland, or my family came from, East Jesus, whatever, 100 years ago. And we didn't have all these things. We just, we were welcomed here because we brought our hard work and our work ethic and everything like that. Well, for heaven's sake, my mother's family came in the mid-1800s. My father's about the same time. One from Germany and the other from England. But we needed the population
That's
then.
right.
I mean, they're... It's not like the immigration laws were so open. They just sort of said, "Oh, well, hello."
Oh yeah, that's
come on in.
It was still very. You had to apply and be accepted.
Sure, but it was not. It was not the kind of argument that you get today, unless you were a person of color.
Right.
Right. Now, I realize that was always somewhat different. But Europeans who are arguing against it don't have a leg to stand on. It's just mean.
Yeah, it is. It's mean-spirited. And I got to feel sorry for these people that feel that way. And I ask, when I hear somebody talking about immigration and how terrible it is and blah, 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 I ask them to go rent the movie A Day Without a Mexican.
Yeah, I've got that at home.
I love that movie.
I never saw that.
Oh, Phyllis,
I have heard it's terrific.
You have got to rent that movie. It is it might be available on Netflix. I'm not sure, but it is so funny because I think it's Southern California, and the first part of the movie is everybody's out, the guys out landscaping and the nanny's fixing the breakfast and getting the kids off to school and doing the laundry and bussing, there's a guy bussing tables and cooking and all this. And the next day everybody wakes up and all the Mexicans are gone. All of them. The congressman's wife has no idea how to even make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for the kids. And she certainly doesn't know what to do with the laundry. There's garlic. Oh, you have got to see it. It is so wonderful. It is just a great movie. I wish we could just show it every day so people would get it through their heads.
Well, maybe you should show that at a benefit.
Hey!
That's not a bad idea.
That's an idea.
In fact, maybe we could raise some money for KNON.
Yeah, maybe we could raise some money for KNON.
Exactly.
Yeah, good idea,
that would
Phyllis.
Be great fun.
Yes, it would.
Well, Phyllis, you got any more words of wisdom for us? We appreciate very much your helping KNON stay on the air.
Yes.
You bet. And I want all 4 of the programs on the air, so I'm going to, split my pledge 4 ways.
Okay.
That'll work.
I really appreciate the station in general. But, Bonnie, I've got something very quick and funny to tell you.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the tidbits out of the Dallas Morning News when they were talking in the spring about redoing the budget for 2014, which, of course, goes into effect in the fall of 2013. They, meaning we, for some reason, had pledged to support the AT&T Performing Arts Center, their ongoing maintenance. And because we had gotten less revenue in recent years, we had cut back to like $1.92 million. But Mary soon proposed that beginning with the new budget, since we had a larger tax base, we provide AT&T Performing Arts Center with the full $2.5 million in taxpayer funds.
Isn't that special? Oh, that's so nice.
Was that? I mean,
yes, it chaps my behind.
It's one of those things that makes me sort of slap my forehead.
Right? Isn't that the truth?
My brains are coming out or something like that. I have to reset my mind. I can't get my mind around that.
Because the CEO of AT&T makes 367 times what the average employee makes. 367 times what the average employee makes.
And they don't want to raise the wages for the
And they don't want to, they didn't even want to give us decent health care.
Let's say some. Thanks so much, Phyllis.
Thank you, Phyllis.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too, my friend.
A couple of more comments about the economic situation and the unemployment figures that were released yesterday. This is a quote from Rich Trumka, the head of the AFL-CIO. He says, quote, "Current economic and labor market conditions do not deserve to be labeled a recovery, except as they concern the very richest among us. For the vast majority of Americans, the economy remains mediocre more than 4 years after the official end of the recession."
Oh, it ended? Trumka. I didn't know that the recession ended.
Theoretically, according to the economists who are looking mostly at the rich people.
I was going to say, are they rich too? The economists?
I think they get paid pretty well.
Okay, well, there you go.
And another point I think that's very, very important is that we've been saying for some time that austerity is not a good policy for a government to follow, and yet that's what they're pushing so much in the House of Representatives. A contrast made by the Economic Policy Institute between the private sector and the public sector, in other words, government spending and private company spending, their employees. If the GDP, what's GDP stand for?
Gross domestic product.
Gross domestic product had not been dragged down by austerity, and if the government spending had risen at just the same rate as the private sector, then the U.S. economy would have roughly 4 million more people working today, and nearly half of the economy's jobs gap would be gone.
Oh my gosh.
That's according to the economists at the Economic Policy Institute. Now, Senators John Cornyn and Ted Cruz are doing everything they can to make it worse. They have joined in sponsoring legislation that would undermine basic labor laws.
There you go.
Including laws barring most child labor, setting a minimum wage, granting overtime pay, and setting rules for union organizing. They want to make sure
do away with all that.
Can't stand up for workers at all.
Well, at least we did get one good thing happened today or this week in Washington. We did get our complete panel for the National Labor Relations Board has now been seated.
It's now fully staffed and able to continue to function. What happened was that Harry Reid from the Senate threatened to go nuclear, to use the nuclear option. And so they had a go to Jesus meeting. Come
to Jesus
meeting. And
they backed down.
They decided that they would allow the President of the United States to make a few appointments to his committees. And
imagine that.
So the National Labor Relations Board, that particular crisis is over, and it was resolved in a pleasant and happy way.
For now.
I'm really glad to know about that.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of other stuff. I've got notes and notes and notes of things that are happening, and it's nearly all bad. But we don't want to be too awfully grim here.
No, because the what is it? The bleakest hour in radio is next.
No, the darkest hour.
The darkest hour in radio. Yeah, that's right.
It used to be us, but now Jim Shoots.
Jim's taking it over. He has got the championship in the darkest.
Well, he's looking
hour.
at the city of Dallas.
Well, that's pretty dark.
Fair. We're looking at
we're looking at the whole picture.
Yeah, and we see glimmers of light every now and
then. We do.
Whereas if you're just talking about the city of Dallas, it does come out pretty. I
want to really thank our concerned citizen, Deborah. Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you, Ed. Thank you,
Phyllis. Thank you,
and Kenneth. Thank you.
And did you say concerned citizen? The guy didn't
concerned citizen. Yes.
And Michael from last week.
Who got us kicked off.
The good news is that KNON has not kicked the workers' beat off in all these years, and so far this year it looks like they're not going to kick us off either.
That's right. Looks like we're going to hang in there for another year.
Fund drive will go on for another week or two
because we got to raise all the money.
Until that thermometer back there gets filled up. It's not
it doesn't have very much on it, so we better get busy.
Well, this is the first day for us.
That's right.
972-647-1893. You can call when we're not here.
That's right.
Make a pledge.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.